So Jason, who just popped on here.
Hey guys, I'm just trying to figure out how to put my background on because of where I am.
Dude, you're great. Don't worry. We're all good. The whole idea is you're supposed to be able to make millions of dollars from anywhere in the world. So you can go, our whole basis is you should be making money on the toilet. So if you want to go into the bathroom and do this, you can do that. Don't worry about that. Really, we don't care. We're just looking for value. Okay, so let me do a quick little high level. Jason and I went to college together. So I'm wearing Maryland because of that. With Terps, in honor of Jason. But Jason and I have been friends for a long time. We've talked about a lot of different businesses. We have fun chatting about crypto. And Jason's currently working in a space that I think one of you guys mentioned a few weeks ago. But Jason now, and we'll dive in. And the idea here is that Jason and I are going to talk about his offer. I'm going to ask questions. You're going to see how we have a conversation with an advertiser. And then at the end of this call, anybody that wants to, you're going to be able to then go and sign up with Jason to promote the offer that we're going to talk about right now and give you earning potential to go now and start working on finding distribution for the offer. And then we're going to strategize on that. We're going to talk about all the things and how to implement all the things we're teaching you. And ultimately, you know, you guys go out and do the work, right? And you hustle and hopefully we'll bring some cash flow to you. Okay. So ERC is what this is all about. And ultimately, did someone in the group brought this up, right? Do you remember who? I don't remember who. God, I don't remember. I don't remember what I did 4 minutes ago. Hold on. I'm going to just put this. All right. So in any event, this is Jason. Jason is the direct guy, the direct advertiser. He will be the one that you will be working with directly. We're going to put you in touch with him. And then as you have questions, if you want to talk to the advertiser, you're going to meet him today. He's a great guy. You're going to feel comfortable with him. And it's going to be a good step for you trying to like create a relationship, right? And then you're going to understand that the people that you're working with are actually human beings and they're fun to be around and they have the same goals that you have, right? Like Jason's looking for people like us to go get traffic to his offer, okay? He wants us to work with him, right? And he's going to pay us to work our butt off to help him look awesome in his company, right? So it's a win-win for us. If he wins, we're going to win, right? And now we just got to go get distribution, and there's different strategies on how we're going to do that. And we're going to talk about that right now. So, hi, Jason.
What's going on, Eric?
What's up, buddy?
How are you?
All right, cool. All right, so do you want to give just a high level? And I might take some notes here just for us. I don't know if you have any documentation or anything, but why don't we just talk about the offer to start so you can explain. Does everybody here know what ERC is?
Alex G does.
Yeah.
Tell you that.
All right, Alex, that a baby. Cool. I think you brought it up a few weeks ago, right? We talked about this? Yes. I think I remember talking about it. Dana did as well. But so good. All right. So great. So Alex knows a little bit about this. So if you guys know, we're going to explain it right now, what ERC stands for, right? What it is. So you want to give a high level, Jason, of what it is?
Yeah. So the ERC is the Employee Retention Credit, right? It was created at the same time as PPP, which everybody probably heard about. And you were only allowed to have one or the other. Well, in 2021, it came out that companies can have both. And fortunately, unfortunately, it really helps small businesses recover from the times during COVID and get some money back. And the cool part about the product is that, yes, you're going to hear about up to $26,000 per employee. You probably hear about it already with the industry you're in of the ads. But the truth is, they're still, when you're said and done, the clients are getting on average $10,000 per W-2 employee. And the best part about this offer is that there is no costs up front to an employer. The only time an employer ever has to pay a fee is after they deposit a check. So at no point do they have to go into their bank account, write a check, and then wait to recoup the money. They deposit the check and they're just taking a piece of that monies and paying us.
So that fee, the fee that they're paying is the fee that they're paying your company
Can't hear you.
for what you can't hear me? That's weird.
I like that the Jason has a big capital letters me.
Can everybody hear? Can anyone? No one can hear me? Anybody? Anybody? Can you guys hear me?
Can you guys put a yes in the chat if you can hear me?
I hear you. He can hear me. Maybe you got to put on your
Oh my God.
your audio.
Guys, I'm sorry. It was me. I hit the wrong button.
All right, cool. All right, good. So the fee that you're saying that the companies need to pay is the fee that is to your company
Yep.
for what you do to help them with
Correct.
getting the money.
Right.
Okay, so that's the only fee. So everything else is free up front. So there's no reason why they wouldn't sign up for this. So it's a pretty easy sell for a company owner, right? Ultimately, no fees. They're going to get money for any employee that they had. Does the employee still need to be there today?
No.
Or just, okay.
No.
So just 2020 and 21, whoever was on their salary at that time,
Yep.
they had the potential earnings, depending on the time period they were with them, to get up to 26K, which will net to them around 10K.
Yeah, when you're done with taking out the PPP loans and, you know, where they qualify to, they'll end up with about $10,000 per employee. So if there's 25 employees, they're going to get $250,000 on average.
Yeah, that's nice. And do they need to do anything with that money, or it just goes right in their pocket?
They can do whatever they want with it. It's not a loan that has to be forgiven. This is their money, because what they're getting is 50% of the first $10,000 they paid an employee in 2020, and set up, and then they get up to 70% of the first 10,000 they pay employee in the quarters of 21 that they qualify.
Okay, cool. And right now, how long have you guys been doing this?
So we've been in business since 2009, but this program became popular in the beginning of 2021.
Okay.
Right. And at this point, we have filed over 30,000 businesses, getting them over $5 billion. And Eric, like, you remember when I started talking to you about this, of what made me think of you is the people that I'm seeing have the most success in being a referral partner and bring the leads are people that come out of your industry.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, great. Yeah, that's exciting. I mean, I've seen it around a little bit, and I know I was planning on talking to you since you brought it up, but I just think now is the right time based on what we're doing. So I'm excited about that. Do you think that we're late to the game? Are there?
No.
Okay.
No.
So
here's what I'll say to you, okay? There's people who come to me all the time and say, I wish. The people who get involved in December should say, I wish, because I think right now is the best time to get involved, because I really believe come the fall, this product is going to become so popular because 2020 credit will be coming to an end, that it's going to be, if you don't do it now, you lose 2020. So we have a couple of months to get to a sweet spot.
Okay. All right, good. And in regards to how the program works, like, how would you set a partner up? How would they go about working with us? What
Perfect.
traffic sources are allowed?
So here's my philosophy, right? I learned early on in the game that if I try and, you know, make it my opinion of what works, we're missing a huge boat. So what I've learned is they're really, as long as people are being honest, I don't care what approach they take. The only thing is, if something goes wrong or someone asks you to stop reaching out, that you stop.
Okay.
Right? That's all I care about. Is if someone says, hey, please don't reach out to me anymore, it's okay. right?
Okay.
You don't have, at some point, enough is enough. But from a traffic point of view, email marketing, cold calling, door to door, it all works. Whatever you're good at, take that approach.
Okay.
Email marketing, scraping LinkedIn, whatever you guys do to gain your traffic, to get your email lists, do.
Mhm. Do you have people out there that are buying traffic on Facebook, YouTube,
Absolutely.
Google,
Everywhere.
PPC?
Everywhere.
Okay. And in regards to the creatives, are people creating their own creatives, or are you providing all the assets?
So we don't provide it because, again, like when I get on these calls with people, I say, I won't even write an email for you. I'll give you a template to start, because you have to make the decision of how you want to write it, right? You know your business better than me. But I will look at those emails to be able to make sure that the facts make sense, right?
So anything that we create, we have to.
I can find you email templates. That's not a problem. I have tons of my students or people that work with me templates, and Eric, I can get you some examples. And then, but I've seen people write a 1-word sentence to get someone interested. I've seen someone write 3 paragraphs.
Okay.
I've seen somebody tell someone, not interested right now, follow up, and they don't stop following up. And eventually, like, you know what? You're really passionate about this. Let's follow up, right? I've seen it all.
So is there a process in how, if we're creating any creatives, do we have to send it to you for approval?
No.
And you send it back?
Nope.
How does that work?
The only thing, if you want to use our logo in something, we just ask that you send it to us so that we can approve it because the logo is there. But if you're not using the logo, fire away. And what we give you is we give you a marketing link and Calendly link and a live Excel feed. So the marketing link is if you want to put some marketing out there and have a link where they can go to a landing page and just see some information about the program. There's other marketers that what they do is they take control of the whole situation and just use a Calendly to book an appointment with an advisor. And then the live Excel feed that shows you all your leads.
Okay.
And the stages.
So you, when we drive traffic, how do we find out, one, where we're driving the traffic to? Do you provide links to us, or it's a Calendly link?
So here's the deal. I'm going to give you a marketing link that if they click the link to book an appointment, it automatically attaches to you. And if you have students that want to get a little more sophisticated and build their own landing page, we'll give you an embed code.
Okay. So there's 2 ways to do it. There's you give a marketing link, we get a click, it goes to a Calendly page where they're setting up an appointment. Is that right?
Yes. To speak to an expert advisor.
And that's somebody on your team?
Yes.
Okay.
Internal W-2 employee.
Okay. And then how does that work? Do they schedule it, or are they talk in real time? How's that work?
So we do both, but so when they go to the marketing landing page or the Calendly, they book a time, and usually it's within 24 hours for us to call them.
Okay.
And then we're pretty much on the finish line of going to live calls.
Okay.
But you have to be staffed properly for live calls, right? Because you need to make sure you answer that live call in 15 seconds.
Okay. Do you have any idea of like a ratio of how many people we drive to book a call to the contact rate, percentages?
Yeah. So overall, because let's face reality, some people will click it and just make stuff up, right? They're not real. It's just part of the game. So, but the statistic I use is that about 35% of all your leads will become clients.
Okay. Well, 35% of all the leads will become clients, but how many do you contact?
However many click in.
So every person that books an appointment, how many do you actually get on the phone?
Let me give you the statistic for this week. This week we've had 2,126 leads. 689 have signed up to be a client.
Okay. So 689 client.
Meaning signed an agreement.
Yep, I got it. Do you know the number of how many of the 2126 you actually had a chance to close? Like you actually got on the phone?
So we don't keep that statistic, but what we keep is of the 2,100, because you got to remember, this is this week, so maybe the appointments didn't, there's a couple day lag, but I can tell you of the 689 clients of let's use 2126 in leads, 954 requested an agreement.
Of the 2126, 954 requested it?
Yep.
So
it's a very high percentage game.
How come then only 689 became clients?
Well, that's so far. Of the others, they might want to review the agreement. They might want to talk to their accountant. When it's said and done, we end up every week in about 78 to 80% of agreements sent get signed.
70 to 80%?
78 to 80. So it's always within 78 to 80%.
Got it. And right now, of the 2126, what is that percentage? Out of the
It's probably about 35%, 34%.
689 divided by 2126. It's 32%?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's right there.
Okay.
Every week it's the same. Some people like to fill it out. I got 100,000 employees. They don't know how to have one. But it's just part of it. Like, we don't get upset about it. I mean, I always tell people, we know how this works. You're doing your best to drive leads. You can't control every single lead that comes through. It is what it is. It's part of the game.
Okay, cool. Okay, so now let's get into the numbers, the exciting part of where we care and where we can now pay our bills when we work for you and we get paid for hustling. What does that look like? Can you talk to me about
so here's how
average
we do
numbers?
Right? Let's use the average deal size is 250. Let's just make it round. It's really 256, but let's use $250,000.
Okay.
At the average deal. Okay. We charge on average 20%.
Okay.
And then so that's 50,000 in contingency fee. And we pay people 15%, which is $7,500.
So $7,500 would come to us?
To your student.
Okay. All of us as a publisher.
Yeah.
If we all go and promote this out to the marketplace,
yep.
Then if we find a company that had employees 2020 to 2021, someone that owns the company, is that who we're looking for? The owners of the company?
Owners, CFOs, decision makers.
Okay. So we're looking for an owner, CFO, somebody that is at the top of the company.
Yep.
And ultimately, they should know about the ERC. Do they all know about it already or not?
So I'll tell you the best part about this business, that most people know about it, but don't believe they qualify because they're being told that their revenue was too high, they made too much money. We've heard it all. But the IRS makes it very clear, and they urge businesses to look into it, that there's two ways to qualify: revenue or change of operations.
Okay. So if you guys can't read this, I'll summarize this afterwards. Just FYI, these are just notes. Normally I would be doing this in a different way, but I want you guys to see it. But okay, so we're looking for CFOs and CEOs. Most people think they don't qualify. That's the biggest reason right now. And the two ways to qualify, when you say revenue, what does that mean? And what do you mean by change of ops?
So the revenue is that it's a very specific number. you're comparing 2020 to 2019 and 2021 to 2019.
Okay.
Okay. And if you meet the revenue decline, which most businesses don't at this point, you qualify automatically. But how most businesses are qualifying for this is a change of operations. What the IRS says is a full or partial suspension of one's business or trade due to government order, limiting commerce, travel, group meetings. So if you look at how you operated your business in 2019, the changes, the pivots you made after COVID to continue your success. So here's two examples. A restaurant. Indoor dining was suspended. They found other ways to do food and beverage sales.
Okay.
Litigators, personal injury attorneys, they went from going to court to video conference.
Okay.
Other companies were selling product A. They went to product B, and they can prove that they had to make this switch because of all the government orders out there. They qualify for the grant. It's really hard not to qualify.
Okay. So just switching products?
Well, if it's out of your normal realm. So
Okay.
for example, if you had a product that you were always showing at a trade shows are canceled, and you start selling masks and gloves during PPP, that's a huge change in your product.
Sure.
Right? You qualify because you kept your employees.
Doing it at a trade show and now I'm doing it over on Amazon. Is that a change?
Yeah, you can make a total change of that. You went from in person to going to the internet.
Okay. So for the most part, you can find a reason why almost every company qualifies. What's the percentage that you've had where companies don't qualify?
It's so less than 10% of businesses don't qualify. Let's say, you might have a hard time with landscapers that only mow lawns.
Okay.
Right? But if they're doing like architectural landscape, now we got a story to tell.
Okay.
Some roofers, because they're all outside. Right? But I can tell you in the state of Michigan, there were government orders that the landscapers couldn't mow lawns.
Okay. Okay. Is there an opportunity if we were to drive traffic, generate a lead, qualify that lead through our side, and then do a warm transfer into your call center?
We can talk about version 2. Let's talk
Driving.
about it offline before we bring it. But the answer is there's so many different ways to do this.
You guys can
What I
handle
say
inbound
to
calls.
people all the time, right? Because this is my job at the company, guys. I've sold over $500 million of this product myself. And by the way, I barely do sales anymore. I enjoy helping people maximize their success. I've probably made 75 millionaires. There's so many different ways to do this business. In the beginning, if you try all, you will fail. You got to go narrow and deep at what you do best and practice. Just keep doing what you're doing. And then once you get something down pat, then you can start messing around with some other ideas and grow this. But that is proven time and time again the best way to do this.
Okay, so when they book a call and then you follow up, how long does it take from the book a call to contact the person, qualify the person, to get the sale, to make it a payable action?
Okay, so once they sign an agreement, we need them to take an hour to an hour and a half to get us what we need. And then we take about 3 weeks to give them their number. And then once they sign off on the 941X, we submit it to the IRS, and it's taking 4 to 6 months. Okay. So it's a 7-month process. But what I will tell you, Eric, is that if you have, I hope you guys don't mind this word, but I like to use students. If you have students that are excelling and all of a sudden have a lot of deals in the first 3 months going into the IRS and things are looking good, we understand that this is a cash flow game too. And those students will be able to have a one-on-one conversation. And if they need advances on the money earlier to keep going, we do it all the time.
Okay.
right?
Cool.
We understand that we need to help our successful people become more successful.
Great. So at what point do you deem that an offer would make sense for you to prepay? When it's in this 4-month process?
Yes. So when it's
And
the stage is called ERC, submitted to the IRS.
Okay.
And then we start looking at, once you have a bunch of deals in there, hey, this person is doing a great job, but he just needs cash flow. Depends how he's buying his leads, what he's doing to drive traffic. Hey, I need some of this money up front. Okay, great. Let's have a conversation.
Okay, cool. I don't know if you have any of this data or not, but do you have people that are driving traffic to their own forums? Sounds like yes, based off of the fact that you're embedding the code.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what types of strategies are like some of your most successful students doing? And do you have any idea what it's backing out to on their cost per lead or their cost per click?
So I don't have, I can look into that information. I don't want to give you wrong information on the cost per, but let me get that for you. I just don't want to give wrong information, right? No information is better than wrong information.
Yeah.
So that I can get you. The guys that are driving their own traffic, they're doing it multiple ways. Like you said, Google Ads, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, you name it, email marketing, LinkedIn. It's all open forum and it's all available to everybody. That's the best part about this business. The barrier to entry is close to zero.
Okay. Now, I would imagine if somebody reached out to me, I own a business and I'm being cold called, I don't know how fast I am taking a call, right? Like, I don't know. I could see like business owners who are just like, it's going to be challenging to get to them. So you've been doing it. You've closed, I don't know, a couple $100 million. So clearly it's working, right? Yeah. What is some of the tactics that are being used? Can you get us some of those things that are working from some of your partners without giving us too much?
You're talking from a cold call perspective?
Well, just the flow of like how we would go about building a program. So like in my mind, I'm starting to think about, all right, well, right now the avatar is a CEO, a CFO. I'm trying to get into the psycho side of it, right? Clearly they're if they have 100 to 200 employees, financially they're okay, right? So who knows?
By the way, so here's the deal, everybody. 5 to 500 employees is the sweet spot.
Okay.
5 to 500 employees is the sweet spot.
Okay.
The reason I start at 5 versus 1 is a lot of businesses have family members that are in the 5 range, in the 3 range, 4 range, and the IRS says no family members can get the credit. That's the only exclusion. Mm-hmm. But I will tell you this, just as much as a 5-person company wants it, a 100-person company wants these too. I promise you. Yeah. I was with a plumber yesterday. He's got 140 plumbers, tradesmen on his team. The smile that came to his face when I told him what I did, he's like, this credit saved my business and then some.
Amazing. Yeah, so that was one of my questions is, do you have percentages of the types of businesses that you've already been able to get this done with, like restaurants, plumbers,
great question.
CEOs of like corporate companies, Citibank, right?
Right. So great question, right? And here's the answer to the question. Most businesses are industry specific. Mm-hmm. This business is business specific. And let me give you an example. In my eyes, every medical practice qualifies. Just think about what it was like to go to the doctor in 19 versus after COVID. Mm-hmm. But I had a business owner tell me if someone didn't want to come into the waiting room, they can go see another doctor. I said, great, you made no changes. You don't qualify. So that's why I say it's business specific, because within the same industry, there might be some people that adopted and followed the rules. And there's other people that just thought it wasn't real. And it was either do it my way or no way, right? So It's very business specific, but I would tell you contractors are great. Restaurants are great. Law firms are great. The state farms, all states of the world are great, right? They were all, anything storefront, anything on a main level is great. A retail store, a hair salon.
Okay. Can you do me a favor after the call, whenever you get a chance? Can you go just look at what you have in the back end for the last few years and just by percentages, kind of try to like get an idea industry wise, what's the highest percentage of companies you've closed, and then kind of work your way down to give us a list to at least give us an idea of like,
so when you talk
where you're
about,
successful.
so when you talk about contractors, right, and construction, you want me to break it down by electricians, plumbers, painters, right? Like, oh, guys, that's
Listen,
great.
I don't want you to do I don't want you to do 1,000
No, but I'm
hours of work.
gonna get a little granular for you,
but,
Eric. You know, listen,
you know,
I've known you
the
for
more you
25
can.
years. I can
Appreciate
get a little
that.
more granular.
All right, love you. So whatever you can do, but just an idea of like giving us where we would want to focus. There's, you know, 20 plus people here, right? So like, if we all go after it, we all may have our own niche. Someone is going to focus on plumbers versus painters versus, you know, restaurant owners. Who knows? You know, and obviously they're not going to turn away a plumber, but you know, when we're focusing on going out and finding very specific distribution channels, right? We're doing things on purpose. Like we're not just gonna, oh, you want to do this? That's not going to happen. If we generate any companies to come to you, it was on purpose. Like we're going to follow a certain flow and we're going to go after it. So we're going to do all this work in the back end on figuring out the audience, the avatar, trying to find ways of where they're hanging out on the internet, and then we're going to put something together where we're going to go and promote to them to get them to click. Right? We're going to get them interested in earning money. So we think about the desires. What's the results that these business owners are getting when they actually get this free money that they didn't know they qualified for, right? So like you're able to tell a company, you know, how would you like it if we just were able to get you a check for $250,000 for free, just because you kept your employees on from 2020 to 2021. And I bet you don't think you qualify, but you do. 90% of the people qualify, right? So like, we're just kind of like focusing on some of the desires, right? And then we kind of think about, you know, what are the objections or pain points that they have on why they may not do this. So if we can figure what those are, right, then we can overcome those objections. And these people should have no reason why they won't sign up, right? So we do our job to get them there, and then you do your job to close them. So it's a little bit different deal than like just doing a straight lead gen deal, right? But however, you know, bottom line is the value here is you can make $7,500 on the average deal. That's a real number, right? So if we backed it out to we generate 1,000 leads, that's $75 a lead, right? So the allowable for us to go out to the marketplace and generate some traffic, if we can go generate leads for $30, right? Now we're making $45 per lead on 1,000 leads.
Got it.
So ultimately, we just made 45 grand, right?
Got it.
And then we're going to get those people there, and then a percentage of those people are going to click here, sign up for yours, and figure out how we get there, right? But ultimately, for every 1,000 leads, I just backed it out to one sale if we get the average of 250, and we ultimately can afford $30, $40, $50 a lead and still be very, very profitable. Now, let's just say 2% convert. Oh my God, right? So now all of a sudden we got another sale or another sale. Now the game changes and we're making a shitload of money. You know what I mean? So that's where it gets exciting. I think the biggest hurdle would be the cash flow side of it. So it's good to know on what we're doing here. Yeah, it makes sense, right? So we just, whether you do it or I do it, maybe we even do a deal. Maybe if people are uncomfortable, I would even pay per lead and fund them and then wait for in the back end. Or
Eric, there's many things we can talk about as we get this started. I've seen it all. I can get very creative with you where where there's huge opportunity, especially if you're willing to, help your, I call them students, right? Because they're all through you. There's many things I've seen done that really help people, and they're really appreciative and takes this to another level.
Great. Okay, cool. So how do we get started? How is the process?
You have that
work?
link that I sent you?
I got 25 emails from you.
By the way. So there's a link that let me send it to you. What's the best way to send you something right now?
Well, I mean, is it for everybody to sign up?
Yeah.
Yeah. So put it in this. Can you put it in the chat right here?
Let me just make sure it works, that I have the right link. Give me 1 sec. I'm doing it off of memory.
Then don't do it.
No. I'm running it in the what? Yep, it works.
You can take your time. You don't have to get it to us right now.
I got it right now. You ready?
But in any event, okay. 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 ERCbottomlinesavings.com/Eric Beer. Wow. Thank you for putting me in that link. Cool. Okay. So when this happens, they click this, they sign up.
Yep.
What's the process at that point?
So when they sign up, they'll be getting, it takes a couple hours, but they're going to be getting agreements to review and sign. And once they sign that, they'll get their links, their marketing link, calendar link. And then when they submit their first deal, they automatically get a live Excel feed.
Okay.
But let's just be blunt here, right? My email address is jasonb@bottomlinesavings.com. jasonb@bottomlinesavings.com. You can reach out to me with any questions.
Okay, so you're going to be the point person here for all this?
Yeah, me, and once we get started and things going, I'm going to probably bring in Alejandro to help me. He works side by side. He's 25 years old, hungry, and has been learning from me for 6 to 8 months. And whatchamacallit, and he's going to help me manage and help you guys. I see actually Jason and Alex, they know me.
Awesome.
So if you guys want to get on like a call, me and you after, and want to throw some questions or ideas, perfect. You guys hit me up, and I'll definitely do everything I can to help you.
Amazing. All right, cool. Yeah. So, yeah, put your email in here. So it's a good start, at least for you guys to like look at a deal, talk to a direct advertiser, be able to ask questions as you may. Ultimately, at the end of the day, if you can make it work, it sounds like big numbers. I mean, give us some numbers of what you're doing with people in our space right now.
Oh, we have a bunch of, we have a pact of 18 to 24-year-old kids. They started in October, and as a pact, they've just crossed $200 million.
Wow.
We have a guy who did
200 million, like this average
top
from
number,
the company.
top number.
Okay.
Yep.
So that 200 million, you charge the 20%.
Probably
So
let's play safe and
million?
say it was 15%, because some of these were real big, right? And people negotiate, right?
Okay.
So that's still $30 million
million.
in fees, and these kids these kids are making real money.
Wow.
And I mean, I have an 18-year-old kid. He just bought his first car. He never thought he thought he'd be 30 before he could buy a car. He's ranting and raving about the car he bought.
Wow.
I mean, I have a guy in LA. He never made more than $50,000 a year. One account he brought in, he made $90,000.
Wow.
Right.
So on the 30 million, it's like 1.5 million.
No, more.
Wow.
More.
Wow.
3 million. 4 million. So,
wow.
But the point is that this is an amazing opportunity for go-getters.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Eric, how many, think back to when we were in our 20s and you went into the affiliate marketing. It was the wild, wild west.
Yeah.
That's what we're living.
Sure. It's a little bit of a,
totally
the challenge with the deal is that you don't get paid until you guys close on the back end and the time period, and the ability to go out and get traffic and pay for that traffic in whatever means that you want, and take some risk. So I can see why people are hesitant without giving some guarantee, right? Where like if it's like our generating leads, and then you'll be able to fund those leads, like, and there's ways to do that right? I'm even willing to do that for you guys if you want to get started and figure it out. So I just thought it was a good start for us to be able to all talk. I want to put you directly in touch with Jason so you guys can communicate with him. You can sign up there. We can all brainstorm on ways that we would go about doing this and going after this business, and ultimately, yeah, see if we can make it happen, right? And you know, if we could do it for you, it's awesome. It sounds like a good deal. It sounds like it's, I mean, I know it's popular. I've spoken to people in the space. I haven't focused on it yet just because I've been focused on other things, but it's a good time. I'll take a look at it. All right. I'll go after it and then work with people here as an example so we can see how it unfolds and how we go about trying to figure out how to make something work like this. So I think that's exciting for us. What'd you say about the reporting? I misunderstood that part.
So once they submit a lead, they get a live Excel feed that's going to show them their deals and show the stages it's in.
Got it. So once you get somebody to book an appointment,
Yep.
and that person has a conversation with a caller, then there's feeds that are set up that.
No, the minute they book a calendar appointment, you'll be able to have an Excel feed that follows your leads that you brought in, right? So it's going to be, the first stage is going to be meeting booked.
Okay, got it. So are you guys going to be emailing that daily? How's that work?
No, it's live. You can click a button and you can see it at any time you want. It's yours.
Awesome. Great. Okay, so what are the stages?
So I can get you out a PDF on every single stage with definitions, right?
Amazing.
I can give you everything you need, no problem. Alex G. So
Yeah.
it's funny you just did that. So yeah, so guys, I'll get everybody everything they need.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, dude, this is awesome. We appreciate you being here.
Yeah,
if there's
Alex,
anything else you have,
please. So
all right.
yeah, I'm gonna help you guys as much as possible. Like I said, this is personal to me because of how long I've known Eric, right? And I really want to see this succeed more than most because of that personal touch.
Yeah, me too. Back at you, buddy. Well, we appreciate your time, man. This was helpful. We're going to go huddle together and talk about this, and then we'll come back to you.
Awesome.
I'm sure you'll get plenty of emails and questions and inundated with a lot of stuff. Everybody here is pretty excited about crushing it. So, yeah, man, you're the man. Thank you
Awesome
for taking the time.
Looking forward to it, guys.
All right, man.
Let's have some
Thank
fun.
you very much. All right, be well.
Talk to you later.
Talk to you, buddy. All right, cool. All right, awesome, guys. So that's just a conversation with an advertiser, right? Obviously, I know him for a long time. There's some things that we're missing, right? Different kind of deals. And we'll go, I think what we should do is we should go to our Zoom room now so we can go talk about it and you guys can ask questions. We can kind of go over some of the notes of what we have here. And yeah, this is just one deal, right? You guys can do it or you don't have to. There's plenty of offers out in the marketplace. And I think if we start to do things like this, where we can start to talk to more advertisers, right? Get a lay of the land. Then what we do is we do our thing, right? We create different strategies around these different programs. This is a little bit different than just somebody saying they're willing to pay you per lead. Okay, I'll bring some of those in here. It's a little bit more complicated. Plus, the other challenge with this is that you have to wait a period of time to get paid, right? 7 months. However, it's a real number, right? Like if you can, I don't know if 250 is going to be that number, right? So I don't know if I'd model off the 250, but we'll dive into that. And I think it sounds like if some of you guys are down to doing this, there's ways where I would be able to pay you on a lead, right? And maybe what I do is I cap it at a certain number so I can then help you guys out with going and get distribution, creating it to a lead form, right? And from the lead form, goes to that Calendly link, book a call, goes to them, they try to close, etc. And we kind of go all the way down the chain. So there's different ways that we can do this. Plus, he said he was willing to prepay in some capacity as well. So that's encouraging. So awesome. All right, guys. So do you have the Zoom link that we can head over there? Can someone put the Zoom link or tell me how I create the Zoom link? I think I can.
Dana is getting the Zoom link, Eric, right now.
Who is? Dana?
Dana, yeah, she's getting
Okay.
the Zoom link. So it will
Okay,
be
cool.
here in just a bit.
Hey, Christine.
Hey, how's it
Didn't know
going?
you showed up there. Good.
Yep, I've been here in the background.
Amazing. All right, cool. Yeah, so that was a good call. A good start to a conversation. He didn't have EPCs, what the value per leads were. So this is typical when you're talking to some advertisers that are on the back end that manage the product, yet on the front end, he knows what's happening, but I don't know if he really knows what's happening, right? There were things in there that you could have picked up on that was like, okay, maybe not, right? Like when we asked him about the types of traffic sources, he pretty much said, do anything you want, right? There wasn't anything specific there. That's not normal. A lot of the times it's, hey, no incentivized traffic, or you can't go buy PPC, right? Because if they're doing it, they don't want you to be a competitor, right? There's certain things where there's restrictions on when you're out and you're buying traffic. So in this scenario, right, it's just, you could do whatever you want pretty much, right? So there's a lay of the land. He talked about here, marketing link and embedded